I have started a new channel called Lanila Tales. Please subscribe and watch my best stories there. Link is in the description. They laughed when I pulled the knife from my boot. They stopped laughing when the first head fell. Bloodhaven Station was the kind of place where dreams came to die and bad smells came to relax. Every wall was greasy, every pipe leaked steam, and every face had at least 2 scars and 1 unpaid debt. I had been sitting in the same corner of Dock Bay 12 for 3 days now, wrapped in a tattered cloak with my head low, playing the part of a nameless beggar. No one looked at beggars. That was the point. The aliens passed by me without a glance as they hauled crates of stolen tech off their rusted ship. Some were reptilian, some had tentacles, some had too many eyes, and some looked suspiciously like lawyers. The galaxy was full of monsters, just not always the ones with fangs. I reached into my cloak and pulled out a bruised piece of fruit, halfway eaten. I grimaced. It tasted like sadness. Just great. Another glamorous day in deep space espionage. Director Nix would have been proud of me. Or furious. Probably furious. A group of mercenaries staggered near me, laughing loudly. Judging by the size of their guns and the smallness of their brains, I guessed they were from the Karg Bloodpack, a violent mercenary clan famous for losing battles and blaming the weather. They bumped past me, knocking the fruit from my hand. "Watch it, Beggar," one of them growled without even looking at me. Another kicked my fruit aside and laughed. "That was mine," I said quietly. Nobody heard me. Nobody ever did. That was fine. Beggars were invisible, which made them perfect assassins. The tallest mercenary turned to his friends. "You know what is funny? This station is crawling with bounty hunters and thieves, and here we are worrying about some ghost assassin from Earth. What was his name again? Something dramatic like Phantom Deathblade or something." "Kale Orion," said another. "Yeah, that one," the tall merc laughed. "I heard he took down an entire alien war squad with his bare hands. And now rumor says he is hiding in the Rim," the third scoffed. "Right. Like a trained killer from Earth would ever be dumb enough to come here." They all laughed. Then the tall one leaned toward me and flicked my hood. "Wish we could find that coward Kale Orion. The bounty on him could buy an entire fleet." I looked up just enough for him to see my eyes. The moment he did, a strange silence fell. Something in my stare unnerved him, but he recovered with a grin. "What are you looking at, Beggar?" he said. "Nothing. Just thinking about what you said," I replied. "You will never find Kale Orion." "Why is that?" "Because I said I would not make it easy." They froze. The laughter died. Then they exploded into mocking giggles again. "You hear that, boys?" the tall merc shouted. "This little street rat thinks he is a killer." They surrounded me in a ring of boots and body odor. One yanked me up by the hood. I still had not moved. I still had not raised my voice. But in that moment all I felt was a growing exhaustion. Not fear. Not anger. Just weariness. I did not want to kill again. I was done with that life. But the galaxy had other plans. The tall merc pressed a blade against my throat. "Now you listen here, you little..." He never finished his sentence. My hand moved before he could blink. I twisted his wrist, snapped the blade out of his grip, and slashed in a single motion. His head rolled off before the others even registered movement. Silence. Then chaos. They reached for their weapons, but my boot knife was already in the throat of the closest one. I disarmed a plasma rifle, spun it backward, and fired at point-blank range. Another went down. Someone screamed. Someone begged. Metal crates shattered as shots went wild. Sparks danced. Steam bursts hissed. In under 5 seconds 6 mercenaries were on the floor. I stood there among their bodies, breathing quietly. Someone dropped a wrench. Someone whispered a curse. And then the whisper spread like wildfire through the station. "Kale Orion! Kale Orion!" I flicked the blood off my knife and pulled my hood lower. Acting like Kale Orion was a bad idea. Acting like myself was even worse. But I did not have a choice anymore. I knelt beside the tall mercenary and pulled a blinking holochip from his pouch. Before he died, he had said something important. The bounty on me. That bounty did not come from random criminals. Someone put it there. Someone who knew I was alive. Someone who wanted me found. I pressed the chip. A hologram projected from it showing a rotating insignia. It was black, sleek, minimal design. I knew it all too well. Earth. More specifically Earth Black Op. My former employers. So that was it. Earth had sent hunters after me. They had branded me as a traitor. But why now and how did they find me? I had erased every record of my existence. I was a ghost. I should have been untouchable. Unless someone betrayed me. I slipped through the crowd before station security arrived. I made my way to an abandoned loading dock where my ship was hidden under a pile of junk tarp. It was old, a matte black courier class called the Seraph. Small, fast, and armed just enough to ruin someone's day. I climbed inside, shut the hatch, and sat in the pilot seat. The hologram from the chip flickered again. This time a message appeared. We know you are alive. Come to Sector Talos 7. Alone. Or we will finish what we started. You stole from us, Kale. We want it back. I stared at the message. Cold dread crawled up my spine. They were not talking about money or files. They were talking about something much worse. Something inside me. Something I had buried. My vision blurred. A whisper echoed in my head in a voice that was not human. Return what you took. I gripped the seat, tightening my fists until my knuckles cracked. The Seraph's console lit up. Destination Talos 7 plotted. I punched the accept button. As the ship drifted away from Bloodhaven Station, I glanced once more at the chaos behind me. Mercenaries running. Sirens wailing. Smoke rising. I was supposed to be done with killing. But the galaxy was pulling me back in. I pulled my hood tighter and stared ahead as hyperspace swallowed the stars. If Earth wanted their assassin back, they were about to regret ever making me one. The Seraph drifted from hyperspace into a region of space that looked like a scrapyard had exploded and decided to stay that way forever. Talos 7 was not a planet so much as a monstrous ball of shipwrecks welded together by time and desperation. Hundreds of broken vessels orbited the metallic monstrosity, some smoldering with old fires that defied logic. Everything here felt hostile. Even the silence. I brought the Seraph in slow and docked at one of the external landing rings. As the ramp opened, the air that greeted me smelled faintly of burning oil, rust, and questionable life decisions. A perfect place for mercenaries and criminals to gather. A perfect place for me to vanish. Or get killed. The odds were about even. Inside Talos 7 the station was buzzing with noise and neon. Markets pulsed with flickering signs, selling everything from alien tech to illegal oxygen. Cybernetic vendors shouted over each other. Music blasted from old speakers, distorted beyond recognition. In every corner a fight was either beginning or ending. Usually both. I pulled my hood low and moved through the crowds. My goal was simple. Get answers without drawing attention. Which seemed reasonable until a massive alien slapped me on the back hard enough to crack bone. Kale Orion, I have heard stories about you. I turned and stared at a wall. Then realized it was not a wall but a living creature. At least 9 feet tall and nearly twice as wide. Its skin was rocky orange, and covered in patches of metal plates. 2 tiny eyes peered from a head shaped like a boulder. Its voice boomed like someone shouting into a cave. You got the wrong person, I said. No, I do not, the alien grinned. The hood, the scars, the brooding silence, you are Kale Orion. I sighed. And you are making this very public. I am Grak, son of Grak. Champion of the Crusher Pits of Gralloch. Slayer of 17 battle mech. Destroyer of the Titanium Colossus. Also part-time cook. I blinked. What? Grak leaned down and whispered loudly as if sharing a secret. I make excellent soup. I tried to walk away but he followed. Wait, Grak said. I want to join you. Big things happening. I want to smash things. You look like someone who causes smashing. I do not need a partner. Grak nodded thoughtfully. Good, because I am not a partner. I am a life debt warrior. No, absolutely not. Grak raised a massive finger. You saved my life once. I stared at him confused. I have never seen you before. He waved dismissively. But you probably will one day. So the debt starts early. That is not how it works. Grak grinned wide. Too late. The bond is sealed. I walked faster. Grak followed. His footsteps shook the ground. Fine, I said. If you must follow me, you stay quiet. And you do exactly what I say. Understood. Grak raised his hand too high for the ceiling. Understood. I headed toward the central tower where the Cantina of Thousand Deaths was located. The name was false advertising. Only about 9 deaths happened on a good night. But it was where mercenaries traded jobs and gossip. If I wanted to know who put the bounty on me, there was no better place. Inside the cantina, smoke hung in the air thick as fog. A crooked alien band played strange music that sounded like a malfunctioning engine. At the back was a terminal where bounty postings were sold. I walked toward it. Grak tried to walk behind me and accidentally knocked over 3 tables and a random lizard man. He apologized to the tables but not the lizard. At the terminal, a small reptilian creature with 4 arms and a cybernetic eye looked up at me. He was chewing something pink that smelled like melted batteries. What you want? He hissed. Information. Information cost credit. I dropped a pouch on the counter. He weighed it in his hand, then nodded. You looking for something special? A bounty. A big one. Recent. He typed on his terminal. Hundreds of bounties scrolled past. Stolen cargo. Missing smugglers. Ion blaster heist. Galactic insurance fraud. Then he froze. Oh, you mean this one? My face appeared on the screen. Hood up. Jawline hard. Eyes cold. The words target active blinked in red. Bounty amount 10 million credits alive. 5 million dead. Any info on who posted the job? I asked. He shook his head. Anonymous source. High encryption. Only connection is a relay point. Show me. He brought up the transfer logs. The encrypted signal came from a mercenary guild hub in the sector. The Draken's Maw. A combat guild. Brutal reputation. Their leader was Mavra Zor. I had heard of her. Ice cold. Strategic genius. Famous for never losing. Rumor said she once outsmarted a teleporting assassin by predicting every move 10 seconds ahead. If she was involved, this bounty was not some side job. It was a hunt. I need to speak to her, I said. The reptilian laughed. No one speaks to Mavra Zor. She speaks to you. Usually while planning your death. Behind me, Grak slammed his fist on the counter so hard the terminal cracked. Then she will speak to us, he roared. Every mercenary in the room turned to look. The room went silent. Whoever had not noticed me before definitely did now. Perfect. I clenched my teeth and walked out. Outside the cantina, I shoved Grak. Never do that again. Grak frowned. Why? Because you just made us targets. And not the fun kind. Suddenly a shadow fell over us. A squad of armored soldiers surrounded us. They wore matte black mercenary armor with a golden insignia. The symbol of the Draken's Maw. A voice came from behind the squad. Smooth, confident, and cold. Kale Orion. I heard you were on Talos 7. I almost hoped it was a lie. The squad parted. She walked forward. Mavra Zor. Tall. Sharp features. Hair silver as frost. Eyes that calculated every move. She wore no helmet. She did not need to. She was the kind of person who made the ground feel nervous when she walked. Grak stepped forward. I am Grak, son of Grak. Champion of the Crusher Pits of Grolok. She did not look at him. Irrelevant. She faced me. You are hard to find, Kale. But then again, ghosts usually are. You put the bounty, I said. She smirked. No. But I accepted it. She stepped closer until her face was a breath away. I am going to collect you, Kale Orion. Question is, will you walk or will you crawl? Before I could answer, Grak charged like a meteor. He picked up one of Mavra's soldiers and threw him through a wall. The fight exploded instantly. Plasma bolts lit the air. Blade strikes sparked. Grak laughed like he was on vacation. I grabbed a fallen rifle and blasted 2 mercenaries down. More surged in. This was not a scuffle. This was a war zone. I spotted an exit tunnel and moved that way, but Mavra blocked me. She moved so fast she was a blur. Her dual energy blades spun like blue fire. You cannot run from this, she said. I do not run. Good. She attacked. I barely dodged as her blades slashed the air. I grabbed a broken pipe and blocked her strike. The pipe melted in half. She spun again, aiming for my throat. I deflected and shoved back. She was relentless, efficient, deadly. Every move she made forced me to react. She swept my legs. I hit the ground. Her heel pinned my chest. You fight like someone who does not want to kill anymore, she said. That makes you weak. Or maybe it makes me dangerous. I grabbed a nearby grenade and rolled it between us. Her eyes widened. I kicked her away and dove behind cover as it exploded. Smoke filled the air. I grabbed Grak by the arm. Move.R. The deeper we went into the underbelly of Talos 7, the darker and more unstable it became. Steam pipes hissed above us like angry serpents, and the metal walkways groaned beneath our steps. The maintenance system down here was old enough to have a midlife crisis. Grak walked behind me humming a battle tune off-key, which felt inappropriate considering the entire station wanted to kill us. But subtlety was clearly not one of his natural talent. We need to keep moving, I said without looking back. I am moving, Grak replied, his voice echoing. Very aggressively. He crushed a loose pipe under his foot for no reason. Sparks flew. Something short-circuited nearby and caught fire. Stop breaking things, I hissed. I am not breaking things. Things are breaking under me. That is different. I ignored him and checked the data chip again. Tira Vox's last known hideout was in subsection 9. If we could reach her, she might be able to decrypt what Earth Black Ops had hidden inside the message. She was the best slicer in this part of the galaxy. Violent. Unpredictable. But reliable enough, as long as she got paid. We reached a fork in the corridor. To the left, a dark tunnel filled with suspicious green liquid puddles. To the right, a path illuminated by a broken sign that flickered the words restricted access. We take the restricted path, I said. Grak looked disappointed. But the other tunnel looks exciting. The green liquid is probably acid. Even better. I grabbed his arm and pulled him right. We walked in silence for a while, with only the buzz of malfunctioning lights above. Finally Grak said something I did not expect. You do not actually want to find Tira, do you? I frowned. What makes you say that? Every time you look at that chip your jaw tightens. You are worried. I am not worried. He grinned. You keep saying things that are not true. It is confusing. I kept walking. He was not wrong. Seeing Earth's insignia again had shaken me more than I wanted to admit. Memories I had buried long ago were starting to claw back. We reached a large round hatch sealed with old industrial locks. A faded red mark was painted across it. Trespassers will vanish. Not die. Vanish. Which was somehow worse. She is in here, I said. Grak cracked his knuckles. Finally. Something to break. Do not break, Tira. No promises. I approached the control panel and typed in a sequence from memory. The old door groaned and slowly swung inward. Inside was a cavernous chamber filled with stacks of tech junk. Glowing panels. Hovering drones. Tangled cables. Screens flickered everywhere, showing feeds from across the station. In the center sat a woman perched casually on a high chair, tools in both hands while she dismantled a robotic arm. She did not look up as she spoke. If you are here to kill me, take a number and get in line. Hello, Tira, I said. Her hands froze. Slowly she turned her head. Her silver eyes widened. Kale Orion. I did not expect to see you again. Mostly because I assumed you were vaporized. I stepped forward. Then she noticed Grak behind me. Why is there an angry kitchen appliance following you? Grak frowned. I am Grak. I am not a kitchen appliance. I am a warrior. You look like a blender had a baby with a forklift. I sighed. Tira, we do not have time. I need your help. She hopped off the chair and tossed the broken robotic arm aside. You need my help. The galaxy must really be falling apart. She walked toward me, then stopped within arm's reach. For a moment I thought she might hug me. Instead she punched me in the shoulder. That is for disappearing for 3 years, she said. I guess I deserved that. And this is for not calling. She punched me again. I definitely deserved that. Then she grinned. Good to see you. Good to see you too. Grack shifted awkwardly. Is there going to be more punching because I enjoy it? Tira raised an eyebrow. He is enthusiastic. Focus, I said. Earth Black Ops is hunting me. Her smile faded instantly. You're old friends again, why now? Someone betrayed me. They sent a message using this relay chip. She took it, her fingers moving fast. Her eyes flicked as she analyzed the data. Encrypted. Triple lock. Dead channel relay. This is high-level military code. Whatever this contains, they did not want anyone seeing it. Except you. Can you crack it? She smirked. Can I crack it? Can a star go supernova? Watch and learn. She moved to her terminal, her hands dancing over the controls. 3 screens lit up with code. A 4th screen tried to catch fire and she smacked it. Grack whispered to me. She scares me. In a good way. Stay alert, I muttered. Minutes passed. Then Tira froze. Found it. She pulled up the decrypted message. My fists clenched as I read. Subject Kale Orion. Status Priority Retrieval. Target contains stolen nanite asset. Recover at all costs. If retrieval fails, terminate target and recover remains for analysis. That word. Nanite. A chill ran through me. Tira stepped back. What is this, Kale? What did you steal from Earth? I did not steal anything. The screen flickered again and a classified symbol appeared. Project Oblivion. Tira stared. Her voice dropped. Kale. What did they do to you? Grack leaned in. What is Project Oblivion? I did not want to remember. But I had no choice. It was a program. Black Ops. Human enhancements to create the ultimate assassin. Biological modification. Reflex surgery. Neurological conditioning. They broke people to build weapons. Tira nodded slowly. And you were one of them. No, I said. I was the last one. The only survivor. But this nanite asset, Grack said. What is it? I touched my chest. It is not a weapon I carry. It is inside me. The nanites. They were meant to heal. Regenerate. Strengthen. But something went wrong. The experiments made them unstable. They evolved. They became something else. Tira stared. Alive, you mean like thinking nanites? I do not know what they are anymore. But Earth wants them back. That is why they will not stop chasing me. Before Tira could respond, alarms blared. Red lights flashed across her hideout. She spun toward her control screens. Incoming heavily armed strike units, she said. Mavra Zor found us. Grack cracked his neck. Finally. Tira pulled a rifle from under her table and tossed me a second one. Time to move. We sprinted toward an exit platform above the hideout. Below us, armed mercenaries poured in, blasting through doors and walls. They fired upward as we ran across a narrow catwalk. Tira yelled over the noise. Kale, I have to tell you something. The relay logs in the chip. They show the source of the bounty. It did not come from Earth Command directly. Then who? I asked, ducking under a plasma burst. She fired back. It came from someone inside Earth Black Ops. Your old handler. Director Nick. I stopped for a second mid-run. Nick. The man who trained me. The one person I trusted once. He wanted me dead. Why? I whispered. Grack grabbed me and dragged me forward. Move or die talking. We reached a blast door, but it was sealed. Tira hacked the panel while mercs stormed the catwalk behind us. I threw a grenade and it exploded in a blinding burst, buying us a few seconds. The door slid open and we slipped through into another chamber. It was a drop bay. A freight elevator shaft with no elevator. It descended into darkness below. Great, Tira said. Only 100-meter drop. Grack grinned. I will go first. He jumped. He vanished screaming the entire way down until a crashing metal impact echoed from below. Tira peeked over the ledge. Is he dead? Probably not, I said. He is too loud to die. The shuttle emerged from hyperspace into a region of dead, black space that felt colder than the vacuum itself. Ahead of us drifted a massive structure half hidden by a cloud of cosmic dust. As we got closer, its shape emerged like a skeleton waking from a grave. The old Earth Black Ops outpost hung motionless, abandoned and silent. Ice glittered on its edges. The lights were out. The power dead. No navigation beacon. No welcome signal. Just a grave for secret. Tira piloted the shuttle toward the docking ring. Her fingers tightened on the controls. She did not like being here. Neither did I. But this was where Nyx had sent relay signals. If we wanted answers about why he branded me a traitor, and why Earth wanted the nanites inside me so badly, we had to go through this corpse of a base. Grax stared out the shuttle window, unimpressed. I expected more explosions. That is because everything here is dead, I said quietly. Good, Grax muttered. Then we do not have to worry about sneaky things. The moment he said it, something metallic drifted past the window. A human skull wearing a cracked helmet. Grax stared. I did not mean that kind of dead. The docking clamps latched onto us and the airlock cycled open. A stale stench of decay and metal met us as we stepped inside the base. The corridors were lined with frost, wires dangled from torn ceilings, and scorch marks covered the walls like old battle scars. The place looked not just abandoned but erased. We split up but stayed within earshot. Tira scanned power junctions looking for anything operational while Grax kept watch and I searched for the command data room. As I walked past shattered visors and torn armor plating, I could not shake the memories clawing at the back of my mind. I had trained in a place just like this. Cold. Silent. A place where emotions were erased and identities destroyed. Project Oblivion was a prison disguised as a military program. The base felt the same. Designed not just to isolate but to control. I reached the command deck. Dead screens lined the wall, smashed to pieces. Something had destroyed this place from the inside. Kale Tira called over the comms. I got partial power online. Lights coming back. Dim emergency lights flickered on in the base. Shadows stretched long across the floors. I touched one of the broken terminals and powered it on manually. The screen crackled to life. I entered an old override code. It still worked. A log directory appeared. Recent entries were missing, overwritten or wiped. But there was one corrupted file that looked recoverable. A video log. I opened it. The screen showed a dark control room with alarms blaring. Scientists and operatives shouted over each other. Then Director Nyx appeared at the center. His face stern, voice calm as ever. Containment breach, he barked. All divisions fall back to Sector 3. Do not engage. What was happening? What breach? A soldier stepped into frame, blood covering his armor. They are not responding, sir. They are inside the systems. They are rewriting everything. Nyx turned sharply. Seal the base. Terminate the program. No specimens must leave. No survivors. Do you understand me? The video glitched. Something moved behind Nyx. A darkness in the shape of a person. Then the screen went black. The log ended. I stared at the blank screen, chest tight. Terminate the program, he gave the order. No survivors. That meant he killed everyone here. Even if they were innocent. Kale Tira said again over comms. You should get to the research lab. I found something. I left the command deck and followed her signal to the science wing. When I arrived, Tira stood at the center of a lab marked biohazard. She looked shaken. In front of her was a cylinder filled with frozen liquid. Inside something pulsed faintly. Something mechanical and alive. I thought you said the base was offline, I said. It is, she replied. But whatever this is, it is still active. And it is matching your nanite frequency. My chest tightened. That pulse inside the cylinder, it was identical to the pulse I sometimes felt inside myself. The nanites in me were responding to it. What is it? I asked. Tira pulled up a terminal and decrypted the old logs. She read aloud slowly. Experimental biosynthetic intelligence. Adaptive collective system. Designed to rewrite biology. Earliest codename the Overmind. I stepped back. The Overmind. A myth whispered by operatives. A failed experiment that was supposedly destroyed long ago. I thought it was a rumor, I muttered. It is real, Tira said. And whatever is inside you is part of it. The nanites inside you are a fragment of this thing. A sudden metallic clank echoed from the corridor behind us. Grack stomped in, carrying a security drone with his hands. He threw it on the floor. I found a robot. It tried to shoot me. Now it is broken. Tira examined the drone. Old Earth security drone. But something about the circuitry looks altered. Before she could finish scanning it, the drone jerked suddenly. Its eye flickered red. A distorted voice crackled from it. Return it, Kale Orion. I froze. The voice was like metal grinding underwater. It was not speaking with audio. It was transmitting directly into my nerves. What do you want? I said. You carry what is ours. Return the fragment. I will not give you anything. The drone spoke again, voice rising. Return it or your kind will fall. I tightened my fist. My kind. Humanity. The drone exploded. Grack shielded Tira from the blast. Smoke filled the room. Tira coughed. Whatever that thing is, it is not dead. It is inside the base. And it knows you are here. Before I could respond, a siren blared. The base sealed itself. Heavy blast doors slammed shut around us. Grack looked around. That was not me this time. Tira looked at the terminal. Something is rewriting the system controls. It is locking us in. We need to move now, I said. We sprinted deeper into the facility. The emergency map showed one possible escape route through the central lift. But we did not get far before we reached a chamber full of bodies. Dozens of frozen soldiers in suspended stasis tubes lined the walls. Tira stared. They were not killed. They were stored. Grack stepped close to one. The soldier inside slowly opened his eyes. His pupils glowed faint red. He is alive, Grack said. No, Tira whispered. He is not. The soldier struck the glass from inside, cracking it. Then another did. And another. Go, I shouted. We ran as the stasis pods shattered behind us and the soldiers emerged. Their bodies twitched like puppets on strings. Their veins pulsed with red light. Their eyes empty. They are infected, Tira said. The Overmind took them. We reached the lift. I slammed the control and it rumbled upward. The infected soldiers swarmed below us, climbing the walls like insects. Tira turned to me. You understand what this means, Kale. The Overmind was not destroyed. It survived inside the nanites. And you are carrying the final piece. Grack cracked his fist. Then we kill it. You cannot brute force a hive intelligence, Tira said. Grack shrugged. Then we kill it twice. The lift stopped at the command spire. A huge central core pulsed ahead of us, alive with red light. The Overmind spoke again through the base speakers. Return what is ours, Kale Orion. Or watch your world burn. I stepped forward, rage and fear twisting in my gut. If you want what is inside me, I said, then you will have to tear it out yourself. The Overmind responded with a single sentence. That is exactly what I intend to do. The Overmind's voice faded into the metal walls, leaving behind a silence that felt heavier than any sound. The command spire pulsed with veins of red light as if the entire base was alive and breathing. The nanites inside me reacted again, vibrating beneath my skin, a warning or a scream I could not understand. Tira stepped up beside me, her eyes scanning every corner with razor focus. Grack stood on the other side with a grin that made it unclear whether he understood how much danger we were in or simply did not care. The Overmind wants what is inside me, I said. So it infected every dead soldier here. It used them to rebuild itself after the purge. Then we destroy it now, Grack growled. Tira shook her head. You cannot destroy what you cannot see. The Overmind is no longer just in one place. It is an intelligent network. It has spread through systems, circuits, and maybe even beyond. So it is a ghost, I muttered. A ghost that eats worlds, Tira muttered. Before we could plan further, alarms screamed again. This time not from the overmind. Something else was coming. Something powerful enough to override the base warnings. External boarding detected. Incoming assault fleet. Tira stared at the monitor she had just hacked into. Kale, that is not the overmind. That is Mavra Zor. She tracked us. Perfect, I muttered. Grak cracked his fists in approval. Finally something to hit that bleeds. Tira glared. You cannot punch your way out of this. Grak frowned softly. That is what people always say. Then I punch things. Then they are wrong. We do not have time to argue, I said. We use Mavra. And she uses us. She wants to capture me. The overmind wants to consume me. So we make them collide. Tira blinked, processing my words. You want to pit them against each other. Exactly. That is insane, she said. Yes. But it will work. Grak clapped once. I love insane plans. We ran to the central comm tower overlooking the docking bay. Through a cracked viewport we saw Mavra's forces storming the base entrance. Her soldiers marched in perfect formation, heavy armor dull in the faint emergency lighting. Hover drones scouted ahead. No hesitation. No fear. Then she arrived. Calm as a glacier. Focused as a sniper's scope. Mavra Zor. We need a way to talk to her, Tira said. I connected a voice channel to her open battle frequency. She answered immediately. Kale Orion, she said. I assumed you would run until I cornered you. But apparently you have developed courage. Unfortunate. That makes killing you less satisfying. Listen to me, I said. You and your soldiers are walking into a death trap. The base is infected. She looked mildly amused. Infection does not concern me. It should. The overmind is here. The smallest flicker of surprise touched her eyes but vanished. If that is true, leaving you alive would be a logistical error. She cut the connection. She is going to kill us, Tira said flatly. Not before she makes contact, I replied. She will confirm the threat first. She wants information she can use. Grak cracked his neck. Then we go meet her. We descended into the base hangar where frost and corrosion coated every surface. Broken transports lined the walls. As we entered, Mavra and her squad appeared from the far corridor. Her soldiers aimed rifles at us in unison. Surrender, she said. Now. I stepped forward. You want me, you get me. But you need to hear this. She gestured and two of her soldiers moved forward to restrain me. Before they could touch me, the ground vibrated. A distant metallic shriek echoed through the facility like a dying animal. The soldiers froze. Grak's eyes lit with violent curiosity. Then the wall exploded. A swarm of infected soldiers poured in, bodies twitching unnaturally as their veins glowed red. Their armor cracked and fused with circuitry. Their weapons had become extensions of their mutated limbs. They moved like a hive mind and they moved fast. Mavra did not hesitate. Form a perimeter, she commanded. Blaster fire lit the room. Energy beams carved through the infected, but more swarmed. Some crawled across walls. Others leaped from columns. One tackled a Maw soldier and drove serrated fingers through her armor. Grak roared and slammed into 3 infected at once. They crashed into a pile of crates. He ripped one apart with his bare hand. Tira fought with brutal precision, her rifle bursts clean and surgical. She moved closer to me as if by instinct. Mavra fought like she had been born inside combat. Her energy blades spun arcs of death, carving through the infected faster than I believed possible. Precision. Control. No wasted motion. But even she looked shaken when she saw the infected getting back up despite being shot or torn apart. They are not alive, Tira shouted. They are being puppet. The overmind spoke again through us, not the air. Return what is ours, Kale Orion. Enough, I snarled. I pulled a pulse mine from my belt, primed it, and hurled it into the center of the swarm. The explosion ripped through the infected with a flash of blue light, frying their circuitry. A brief silence fell. Smoking bodies collapsed. Mavra lowered her blades. You were not lying. No, I said. And if you want to survive this, you need me. Her eyes narrowed. Explain. The Overmind wants what is inside me. It believes I belong to it. So it will keep sending these things until it has me. Then give yourself to it, she said. I will, but on my terms. She stared, calculating. She wanted to win, but she also wanted to understand. She feared nothing, except losing control. Tira spoke up. The Overmind has a core. Somewhere inside this base. If we destroy it, we can cripple the hive and maybe weaken the nanites inside Kale before they take him over. And why should I care about saving him? Mavra asked. Because if the Overmind wins, it will not stop at Kale, I said. It will use me to complete itself. Then it will expand. And neither your guild nor your army will matter. It will consume everything. Mavra did not flinch. She gave a single nod. We end it then. Unexpected alliance. Grak grinned. Temporary, I said. We fought our way deeper into the base. The corridors twisted like veins. Sparks rained from ruptured conduit. More infected soldiers came, but now Mavra's forces fought beside us. Grak smashed through anything in his way, creating cover where walls used to be. Tira hacked security doors as we moved. Mavra stayed close to me, watching, studying, planning. We reached the heart of the facility. A massive chamber where a grotesque metal structure rose like a tree of wires and pulsing light. At its center was a black sphere, slowly rotating, alive with red cracks. Once human voices echoed from it. Now twisted. Now wrong. Complete the whole. The fragment must return. The nanites in me surged. Pain rippled through my body. I dropped to one knee. My vision blurred. I heard something moving inside my skull, like fingers tapping inside my brain. Kale, Tira shouted. Fight it. I struggled to breathe. Every cell felt like it was melting. The nanites inside me were trying to escape. The Overmind was pulling me toward itself. Grak grabbed my arm and held me in place. You are not going anywhere. The core chamber pulsed like the inside of a colossal heart, but the rhythm was wrong. The air vibrated with a deep metallic hum, as if the Overmind existed in a frequency outside normal hearing. Every surface glowed faint red as nanites flowed like liquid metal along cables and walls, feeding into the black sphere at the center of the room. The Overmind was no longer just a machine. It had become something else. Something aware. Something hungry. Give the fragment, the voices whispered inside my skull. Complete the whole. Become one of us. Tira connected a power cell to the cables around the core, setting up her overload rig. She moved quickly despite the chaos, tools flashing in her hands. Her jaw was tight. She was afraid, not of dying, but of losing control of the plan. Grak stood beside me, gripping my shoulder with a force that nearly cracked bone, trying to anchor me. Sweat ran down his forehead, but he never looked away. He would not let me fall even if he did not fully understand why. Mavra Zor and her soldiers formed a perimeter around us, watching for any sign of ambush. Her eyes remained fixed on the core, unreadable as always. She had aligned with us, but trust was never part of the deal. She respected necessity. Nothing more. Tira shouted over the rising hum. I can trigger the surge, but once I do you will have only seconds before the Overmind adapt. So we buy time, I said. She shook her head. You do not understand. It is not just reacting. It is learning. The longer we wait, the less chance we have. The only way to win is to hit it before it understands what we are doing. Grak frowned. That sounds like how you fight ghosts. Tira raised an eyebrow. You fight ghosts. Grak nodded. On my homeworld they scream a lot. Mavra cut in sharply. Focus, Kale. Once the surge hits, you will be linked to the Overmind. It will try to consume you. When it does, it will expose itself. That window is your only chance to destroy it. I know. And if you fail, Grak asked quietly, then nobody walks out of here. Tira looked away for a second before returning to wire the last connection. She handed me a small device no larger than a coin. This goes in your chest. Direct node access. Once activated, the nanites inside you will merge with the network. I stared at it. You are asking me to willingly connect myself to the thing trying to control me. She held my gaze. You said it yourself. If you do not choose who you are, then someone else will. I pressed the node to my skin and pain flashed through me as it fused with the nanite. They responded instantly like animals recognizing their nest. A faint light pulsed beneath my ribs. The Overmind spoke again in that cold echo. Return to us. There is no life outside Unity. I lifted my head. I would rather die free than live as your puppet. It answered with a dark hum. You already belong to us. Tira powered the main control. The surge coils around the core began to glow. She yelled, brace yourself. Once this starts, nothing can stop it. Make it happen, I said. She slammed the final switch. A blinding burst of light erupted from the cables, and energy tore through my body like a lightning storm trapped inside my chest. I staggered but remained standing. The nanites reacted, awakening like a swarm of angry hornets. They surged into motion inside my veins, spreading faster than blood itself. My heartbeat vanished. My body began to move without me. Kale Tira shouted, "Stay with us." I heard her voice as if from underwater. The chamber stretched and twisted. Walls melted into black static. Command consoles flickered and vanished. Grak and Mavra distorted like broken reflections in a warped mirror. I reached out, but my hand dissolved into a stream of particles. Then I was no longer in the chamber. I stood in a void of shifting metal and red light. Tendrils of nanites flowed through the air like rivers. A massive construct hung ahead of me, halfway between a machine and a god. Thousands of mechanical eyes opened at once, staring down at me. A voice formed, not spoken but felt. You are home. I clenched my fist. This is not my home. You carry us. You are us. You were made for us. Project Oblivion bound your existence to ours. You cannot escape. I saw flashes of memories. Training cages. Neural conditioning drills. Nyx watching from behind glass as I fought until my bones broke. The surgeries. The injections. The nanites flowing into me like molten silver as pain erased my identity piece by piece. We made you perfect, the voice whispered. No. You made me a weapon. A hand of nanites reached for me. Return and become more. You will ascend beyond humanity. There will be no pain. No loneliness. No doubt. I felt something pulling at me. Part of me wanted the pain to end. Wanted to let go. But then faces appeared in my mind. Tira. Grak. Even Mavra. People who still fought even when the universe tried to crush them. I stepped back. I choose my own path. The Overmind pulsed. Your choice is irrelevant. You belong to us. All things belong to the fold. We will remake your world. Beginning with the one who commands you. A projected image appeared. Standing in a black command chamber on an unknown ship. Watching, waiting. Smiling. He is already connected, the Overmind said. He knows everything. Even now he moves against your world. Earth will kneel. Rage cracked through me. Nyx had sold humanity to the Overmind. He had become part of it. No, I growled. I will not let you take my world. You cannot stop us. I felt the nanites tearing deeper inside me. Consuming me from within. Forcing me to bend. My skin split and glowed. My thoughts began to fracture. I was losing myself. Then I heard a voice echo in the void. Kale. It was Tira. Kale, fight it. Her voice cut through the noise like a blade. I gritted my teeth and pushed back. My heartbeat returned, faint but real. I forced myself upright. You want to know what I stole? I snarled at the Overmind. You think I took a fragment from you. But you are wrong. I took something far more dangerous. And what is that? Free will. I reached deep inside and grasped something burning. My will. My identity. My humanity. I poured it into the nanites. They screamed as the raw surge of defiance surged through them. The Overmind tried to overpower it, but a mind built on logic could not understand a heart built on fire. Tira now, I shouted. In the real world, she triggered the overload. A cascade of energy shot through the network. The Overmind recoiled as its own system crashed. "What have you done?" it thundered. "I ended this." The nanites erupted in a violent burst. The void shattered. The Overmind's massive form cracked apart, collapsing into molten data. The world lurched and I was thrown backward through a tunnel of collapsing light. I slammed back into my body, gasping. The surge coils exploded. The black sphere at the core split open with a deafening roar as a shock wave tore through the base. Overmind code melted. Infected soldiers collapsed lifeless. Tira caught me as I fell. "Kale, stay with me." Grak shielded us from falling debris. Mavra dragged her wounded soldiers toward the exit. We escaped seconds before the base tore itself apart in a final implosion of red light. Hours later, aboard the Seraph, I stared out at the stars in silence. The nanites inside me were quiet now. Tamed but still present. A reminder of what I had survived. What still hunted me. Tira sat beside me. "You did it."